Hey guys, welcome back. So this should be the last video we have for this truck here. So I'm going to go ahead and go over everything with you, show you how this truck turned out. Now it's going to be missing a couple little pieces here and there. It's all going to be stuff that he's going to put on at home after he decides what he wants to do, what he needs to do. But my work on this truck is pretty much done. So as you can see, this truck is fairly complete here. And the only thing we're going to be missing is the emblems on the fenders here and on the doors. And that's about it for the exterior. He's got some different bed caps to put on, but I think he said he's going to put those on back at home once he gets this truck all squared away himself. But we're going to go ahead and go over this truck and show it to you in its full glory. All right, so we ended up finding a aftermarket front bumper for this truck. The original bumper was smashed on the corner here. He did buy that. That was not his own fault. And we ended up putting the OEM grill back in this truck, which looks really nice in here, especially with the dark shadow gray paint. And then we were running the 05 and up headlights. So these are 05 to 07 headlights in the 99 to 04 front end, which I think it looks pretty good together here. And then obviously you can see we're running the 2023 Lariat Sport wheels. Now, I don't know if you can get those on an XLT in the 23 model year or not, but I do know they came on the Lariats. So I do know they are sport wheel. So running the Cervini's cowl hood as well. Looks really, really good on this truck. This truck's really came out really well. And mentioned here that we don't have emblems for the fenders yet. We're waiting on him to pick out which ones he wants. He's probably going to end up putting those back on at home. And I think we're going to run the 7.3 black emblems on there as well. So we are running 2003 mirrors on here, and we went ahead and smoked the corners. Those are the OEM corners that we did with a 50-50 smoke and black base with a clear coat over top. So they should always look like this, nice and shiny, dark, but still lets light shine through. The painter did an absolutely fantastic job on this truck. You see it's very glossy, very smooth, and not bad for the age of the metal. Moving on back here, we have good bedsides on this. This bed needed a bedside put on it. So I do believe it was this side that was replaced. So this is an OEM Ford bedside that we had put on, and he did a fantastic job with lining it up with the cab. Back here, 13 to 15 tailgate. I do believe this one is specifically a 2014. It does have the camera in the bottom of the Ford emblem here, as you can see. So that makes it that era specific, and then the plug is, I do believe, 14. So that makes that tailgate that era. Still haven't painted the inside of the bed yet. We're going to do a Line-X in that, but this tailgate does have the step, which is nice. So that was a nice addition to this. Tailgate shuts nice. We are still running the OEM bumper on this. It has not been replaced, so the bumper doesn't look too bad for its age, which is nice. We'll come around to this side here, and I do believe, like I said, this is the original bedside on this bed. I don't know the age of the bed, but it is pre-2011. So I think it was from an 05 to 07 truck. Not really sure. However, looks good for its age. Then you can see this side looks just as good. This door's not shut. So paint is nice and smooth. Body is nice and smooth. No waves, no dents, no dings. This truck is as new looking as you can get. You can see me in the reflection of it. It looks fantastic. Love the way this truck looks. Came out really nice for what we started with here. And we're going to try to keep this truck nice. So in that sense, we're going to go ahead and show you the interior of this truck, because that has drastically changed as well. But the one other thing that I want to bring up to you is we ended up replacing the cowl panels on these. So that's this plastic here, and it's two pieces. You got that side and this side. So we ended up replacing these because these get very brittle. Being in the sun, they don't take the sun very well. when we pulled them off of the truck, they literally fell apart. So we ended up getting these from Ford. They are still available at the time of this video, but we replaced these, and it makes the hugest difference in the way this truck looks, because this plastic was all faded and it didn't look good. It was chalky. It had some cracks in and around the screw holes, and it didn't look good. And it's like, we did all this work to this truck to make it look as good as it does, and we weren't going to keep those ugly cowls on there. So moving on to the inside here. So the first thing you're going to notice is that there's no headlight switch. Well, that's because there's also no radio. It's sitting here. And then you'll see that there's gauges up on the dash here. He has a pillar pod to put on here, but it's not painted, and he has to buy some new gauges. So we left it off for right now. We just hooked up this stuff and laid it up on top of the dash here so that it was hooked up to plug up any holes or ports that needed to be plugged so that he could drive it home. So the inside of this truck used to be tan, and it was a Lariat originally. Somebody had actually swapped in Lariat LE seats into this truck, so it was buckets front and rear when he bought it. But we decided to get rid of the tan interior and go for the gray, especially with the nice gray exterior. So we are running ACC carpet in here, and it's not too bad. It looks pretty good. It fits pretty good. I mean, it's not OEM factory fit, but when you don't have a gray carpet and you need a gray carpet, you kind of got to buy what you got available to you. So that's the way we went with this. It fit pretty good, wasn't too bad, and we made it work. So eventually I think we might end up changing the steering wheel. As you can see, it's got a little bit of discoloration on it. We might end up sending a steering wheel control wheel out to get recovered in gray. That'll be something a little bit different for this truck. But as you can see, we don't have the dash bezel in, and there's no headlight switch and no radio. However, everything else is in here except for the console. We got to send the little computer out here to get it fixed. It's a very notorious problem on these trucks, is that going bad. So we haven't put the console cover back on yet because we haven't been able to get that repaired yet. He said he's going to send it out eventually. It's not a big concern of his at the moment. So, the interior's not been touched as far as replacement, except for the front seats. We did have the front seats recovered, and they were recovered by a local guy. He did a fantastic job on them. I would advise having a local upholsterer redo your seats opposed to buying like cat skin or name brand covers, because they really aren't that good. So if you can find somebody local that can help you out, it's the way to go. But we went ahead and we didn't refurbish anything in here. You can still see there's a little discoloration on the top of the panel here. The interior of this truck came from down south, a lot of sun. So you can see, I mean, it's used. It's got some marks on it, but it doesn't look bad. I mean, the interior is out of a 2003 truck. We did nothing to this back seat except clean it, and it doesn't look too bad. So we're pretty happy with how this truck's turning out. We did have the headliner recovered. So the headliner is recovered. Once again, the same guy that did the seats did the headliner for us and did a fantastic job on it. It looks great. Can't really complain about it. So the inside of this truck is pretty well replaced. Like I said, no aftermarket panels on this except for obviously the hood and the front bumper here. But everything else on this truck is OEM Ford, which is great. So looks really good. Really happy with how this truck came out. Even the mirrors here are OEM. We just had to replace one of the pieces of glass in. So we'll show you this side here. Like I said, dash bezel's not installed yet because it goes in with the radio, but needs a little bit of a cleaning. I gave it a wash here today to get the garage dirt off of it because it's been sitting in here for a while. But the interior is nice in this truck, should be comfortable, and should last him a long time. He's had this truck for a long time, and we're going to try to keep it so it's there for a long time. And this side's a little bit better than the other side, but still nice interior in this truck. It turned out really well. just happy with how this truck's turning out. And he's got some winter wheels here because this truck is going to be driven in the winter a little bit. It's kind of sad, but that's what he wants to do. So he picked these up. He's going to put those on in the winter time to save these nice wheels. So speaking of winter, it's a little hard to see under here, but we went ahead and coated the whole underside of this truck with some fluid film. I blew all of the crevices out and tried to get everything out of the body and anything out of anywhere that was hiding. But you can see it's kind of got a glossy hue to it. It's a little bit rough textured. We coated this with fluid film this time. However, I think I'm going to try to get them to avoid driving it in the wintertime for now until we can get something that's a little better for sticking. So fluid film isn't bad if you have the ability to apply it yourself. It does work half decent. It's just there's some better products out there, in my opinion. But we're getting there with this truck. Should be going home here in the next couple days. He's pretty excited to see it done. So moving forward with this, which is nice. So now that we've gone over the whole truck here, I kind of showed you what we've done and what we've changed and some little things that we did and things that still kind of need done, but showing you the overall picture of the truck. I'm going to tell you about some issues we did run into. So we had to replace the doors in this truck here, and the mechanism here. This latch mechanism is also your door ajar mechanism. So it tells you when on the dash there's door ajar. Also tells the ignition when to make noise for key in ignition. Dings under the dash. We ran into an issue where if all the doors were shut, it would tell you that the doors were open. And if you opened all 4 doors, it would tell you that there was no doors open. And it would follow the dinger as well. Turns out Ford changed the wiring in the inside of these latches at some point after 2001, but before 2003. So we ended up having to run the 2001 latches in these doors. So when you are redoing your Super Duty truck, please, please, please keep in mind that stupid stuff like that will catch you in a hurry. They did a lot of little changes in and amongst all these trucks. So yeah, the bodies are all the same, right? Sort of, Yeah, the door shapes and stuff are the same for a crew cab. The interior panels mostly swap around. Seats, they swap around. Same with the headliners, the back windows, everything. It all swaps, except for little stuff. Wiring latches. I know the Super Cab doors have issues. I haven't messed with that yet. The dome lights are wired different after 2001, and they changed them sometime in 2002 or 2003. So it's little stuff like that can drive you nuts. They changed the wiring in the steering wheels in 2005. So you have odd little changes here and there that can really, really throw you for a loop when you're redoing a Super Duty. So that's something to keep in mind there. And though it's almost all electronic. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for following me on this project. It's one more project that we're going to roll out here and hopefully have it done for him here in a couple days here. He's just got a couple little things to tidy up. Nothing really crazy, but this will be the last time you see this truck unless it comes back for something else. But we've pretty much done the whole 9 yards on this. We did the axle swap on it. We put the body back on it, got it all painted, new bed, new hood, tried to replace as much as possible. But I'm going to go ahead and show you under the hood here. It's a 7.3. Can't do a whole lot that anybody else hasn't done. But I'm going to show you what we did to this one to make it a little bit more reliable. All right, so you can see we got the hood up here. First thing you're going to see is new AC lines. So we replaced the whole air conditioning system on this truck. So we have a new AC compressor. This is a Ford Motorcraft air compressor. And then also I went to a Motorcraft dryer. The only thing I didn't do Motorcraft was the lines and the evaporator. So we did replace the evaporator in here in the heater box. And we replaced all the lines, high side, low side, and then obviously the compressor and the dryer. That's something that I always do when I'm doing an air conditioning service. It's like, just replace it. You don't know how long it's been open. You don't know how long it's been bad. So it's easier just to replace the whole thing. But we also did the condenser up front here. This is a new condenser as well. So whenever I'm doing an air conditioning system, it's much easier just to replace everything, especially if you have the cab off and this heater box is easily accessible. So first thing you're going to see over here then is the AFE intake. So this is the original intake that he had on this truck when he first bought it, but we went ahead and got the refurbished parts from AFE. So that'd be a new seal, new filter, new gasket, or new boot up here. So we got all that stuff from AFE. And if you're running the Cervini's cowl hood, you have to trim the box right here because this box is higher for the original stock steel hood. So if you have a Cervini's hood and you have one of these boxes, please check your clearance before shutting your hood for the first time. So new battery cables here, still running the original grounds. Probably going to leave those for a while. And then we also, new steel lines here. That was covered in another video that I had already put up covering the rebuild of this engine. We covered the fuel lines, the fuel bowl, we covered a turbo rebuild, and then we did a back pressure valve delete on this. So we updated the pedestal for the turbo. So those are all videos that are in the 2001 F-250 playlist. But at the same time, we also put new heater hoses on. These are the original Ford heater hoses. Since they use the quick connects in the back here, it's kind of hard to get to those. It's just where they're at. If you have their quick disconnect tool, it makes it really easy to take them off. Obviously, you just push them on to put them on. You're not messing with hose clamps back there just because of where they're at. So that was a worthwhile change. And then we also went to the updated upper radiator hose. So you can change your belt without removing your radiator hose. The original hose for these trucks, I guess you would say pre-updated hose, comes out through here. So if you ever had to change your belt, you would have to take your top radiator hose off the radiator or off of your thermostat housing down here to get the belt changed. So we won't have to be doing that anymore. So you can watch all the videos on these little things on my channel in that playlist. Like I said, we covered most of that stuff there, and get a good shot of the Cervini hood down here. These hoods are high quality, and as you can see, there's no hood light on this one. We haven't put it on yet. We need to get a new mercury switch for it. It doesn't light up when you open the hood. One other thing we did here is we put the MagnaFlow 5-inch exhaust on here. Now this is their builder kit. They don't specifically make a 5-inch exhaust for this truck any longer. So we were able to pick this up from them, and it replaced the MagnaFlow 5-inch exhaust that was on this truck. So it has the racy style exit, which is okay. We were used to the straight side exit here before, but I think this exhaust will look good on this truck since it does have, the newer wheels on it and the newer front end. It kind of fits the bill for the truck. So little things here and there that still need to be done or changed, but this truck is done and ready to roll out of here. So hopefully he's happy with it, and we'll get it all tidied up here for him to take home next week and try to get it all the way done. Hopefully I can get some pictures of it with the emblems and stuff on it when it's 100% done. But I appreciate you guys following along with me on this build. Sure was fun. This is the first Super Duty I've ever messed with as far as tearing them down and putting them back together. It really wasn't bad at all. Some things were easier than working on an OBS, and some things were a little harder, but that is to be expected with a different era of truck. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you do like these videos, please subscribe to my channel, as we're going to try to keep doing more stuff like this. We have some more projects that have showed back up, and some new ones that haven't been here yet. So keep an eye on the videos, and we will try to keep them rolling for you. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.